Welcome back to Stingy Trigger Tabletop. This is Stingy, and on the table is a pistol rest that Trigger and I designed. Now, if you're like us, most of the indoor ranges that we go to do not have any provisions for you to do any type of rest or bench shooting. Yeah, they usually have some sort of bench there, but it's really just a flat bench for you to place, your pistols, your ammo, or anything that you have brought with you that day to the range. However, they do not have usually any type of stand or a vise or a rest for you to place your pistol or rifle on should you want to do some bench shooting. And as such, Trigger and I decided that we wanted to design something that was relatively portable and something that we can build relatively easily and at a very low cost. And what you see on the table is that stand. And just a quick overview of how it works. We have this nut here that basically keeps this bolt from falling out during transport, but when you assemble it, you just thread this off. And this folds out, and you'll notice that there's a little hole right here, and that's where the bolt goes through. And on the other side of that hole, there's a T-nut with threading on it that this bolt threads onto. And basically just tighten that down. Just hand tighten is fine. And that provides the support and stabilization for your stand and for the V-notch right here. So, and how this will work is basically you just place this on that small usually is a relatively small strip of bench that you have at most indoor ranges, and you put let's say like a bean bag or a sandbag right here, and then you can rest your pistol right in this V-notch right here and do some bench shooting. Now, we built this out of wood, and I know out there in the market there's a lot of polymer pistol rests, portable pistol rests, and they usually range somewhere around $30 to $50, and a lot of them are actually not that portable. If you look at them, they're kind of bulky. They don't fold down. They're just a plastic molded stand that looks somewhat similar to this, but then it's kind of, you see, once it's in this configuration, it's kind of bulky, and you're gonna have to find room to transport it. Whereas our design here, you can basically take this bolt back out, and it folds back up, thread on the nut, and basically once it's folded, you have basically, this is a 12-inch by 5-inch and by 3-inch thick format that you can pretty much throw in any range bag, and it's relatively lightweight as well. Let me see, just power this on. Now, of course, if you're just going to your indoor range, you're driving there, you're not backpacking, weight is not really an issue. So it's only 1 pound 13 ounces. Still, it's pretty portable. You can throw it in any range bag and off you go. Now, the following segment, we're gonna go down to Trigger's workshop, and we're gonna show you how we put this together. And give us a minute, and then we'll be right back. Okay, we're out here in Trigger's shop, and the first part to making the pistol stand for our bench shooting is to cut this piece of pine down into 3 sections of 12, 7, and then 4. So, and basically we're going to just use a regular hand saw here, and just to show everybody that you can pretty much do this without any power tools, with the exception of later on, with drilling, we're going to use a power drill for that. So, Also, it really helps if you have a sharp blade. God, what is this, a butter knife? Alright. Okay, now that we have the 3 sections of wood cut to size, the next thing we have to do is cut the relief piece off of the back support piece that we have here, so that we can drill and thread in this bolt to provide support for the standing piece. So, and with this one, what I'm going to try to use is a hacksaw. It'll give me some more precise cuts. Okay. Oops. Alright, so once the relief piece is cut, it should look something like this. And this flat portion will give us room to drill and put this bolt through to provide the support on the back. Okay. And now we are going to cut our final piece, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the V-notch where you're going to rest the pistol. And again, we're going to use the hacksaw to get a more precise cut. Okay, so when you're done, the final piece for the pistol stand, where with the V-notch where the pistol will rest, should look like something like this. Okay, now that we have all the pieces cut and the notches cut away, next part is to drill. And the first thing we're going to drill is the hole for the long bolt that's going to basically hold the support piece down. And this is going to be a little bit difficult, of course, doing it freehand. Ideally you want to have some kind of drill press, since it's going to be a long drill straight down. So we're going to try to go slow here. Look straight here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright, now that we have it drilled all the way through, we're going to enlarge the hole a little bit more so that it can fit this a little bit, we can slide this through easier. Okay. And we're just going one size larger. Okay, now that we've finished drilling the hole for the support piece for the bolt, we're also going to now drill all the pilot holes for the hinges. And we're going to start with the support backing here. Okay, now that we have all the pilot holes drilled, next we can start screwing in all the hinges for the stand. Now that we have the hinges attached to one side of each one of the pieces, before final assembly, next thing we need to do is to install this padding here for the V-notch so that your pistol does not get scratched up or whatever you put in the V-notch. And this material that I'm using is just a rubberized backing off of one of those desktop calendars. And this stuff is pretty durable. So you can see that we've already have this one side done, and before you staple it in, you cut it into, and we'll have probably templates for people to cut these out into a shape like this. So basically it will fit in here like so and fold over, and then you can just basically take a staple gun and staple them into the wood. Okay, now that we have the V-notch padded with this rubberized material, next thing is the final assembly, and we're going to start with the back piece here. Alright, after screwing in all the hinges, the last thing we need to do is to drill through this hole for the bolt all the way through the wood here. And what that'll do is it'll allow the bolt to go all the way through and be tightened. So. Okay. Okay, now that we have the corresponding hole to the support piece drilled, what we need to do is put on the back side one of these T-nuts to give something for the bolt to thread onto. So, and what you do is just flip it over, and hammer, just drive it home. Okay, and now this is how the piece looks totally folded up. And you should be able to just do one of these. And we're probably going to put some washers here to protect the wood from this here so it doesn't crack. But you can see that's pretty much how it's going to be, and it's pretty stable. Okay, we're back from Traeger's workshop, and as you can see, this was mostly constructed out of materials that we had available. This wood here was just a piece of pine that we found in Traeger's garage that wasn't really being used for anything. And then cost and material wise, with the hinges, the bolt, and the T-nuts and the washers, was really only about $10 worth of stuff. So let's say if you didn't have the wood or any of the hardware, it's probably going to cost you somewhere around $15 to put this together. This protective rubberized materials here that we use in the V-notch is just something that I found on, or actually it's just the backing of one of those tabletop calendars, and it's a rubberized or vinyl backing that they use, and I found it to be pretty good to protect the pistol or or rifle from getting marred up by the wood or anything underneath. You'll notice that we built this with primarily hand tools, basically a hacksaw and a drill, and that's to show that you don't really need a lot of tools to build this, and this is kind of like our prototype. So we just built it with a crappy piece of pine, just materials we had available. Now we're probably going to build something a little bit nicer, and you can definitely do a much nicer job if you have some decent power tools like a chop saw or a table saw, which we do, and we're probably going to do a separate video on that later to show us building a nicer version of this with something, a better piece of wood like out of oak or something. But again, we did this primarily with hand tools, just a hacksaw and power drills to show if you don't have, a workshop like Trigger does, and you're, let's say you live in an apartment, so you can't run like a, circular saw or anything that would, basically make your neighbors bitch. You can pretty much build this relatively easily and quietly with, just oh, actually a staple gun too, just to staple this stuff on there. However, you can glue it on too, but pretty much you can build this entire thing with hacksaw, a drill, and a screwdriver, and that's pretty much all you need to build this very compact and portable pistol stand for bench shooting. And again, you can see how quickly this assembles. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more fun gun projects and reviews. And again, we're just a couple of city slickers trying to work this out as we go. I guess the zero was still there.